Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're going to talk about offensive and defensive split data, what matters to winning, and I figured this would be sort of a good video to kind of review a lot of the data stuff that I'm going to be doing because I'm going to be applying a lot of these concepts to each week of NFL action. So basically the process is, the NFL games start, they end. They release all the data in terms of offensive and defensive split data. I collect all that data and then I compare it against the sample since 1998, at least with a lot of the data. Some of the data only goes back to 2007, but it's a substantial amount of data. It has lots of correlations to success at the NFL level in terms of winning football games. And on offense and defense, it helps to expose team weaknesses. It just does a ton of different things. So I'm just going to kind of, at least in this video, I'm going to try to do my best to kind of explain the different concepts so that when the actual NFL season gets here, you might have a little bit better understanding of where I'm coming from when I talk about the data that I talk about when it comes to offensive and defensive split data. And keep in mind that, each week the data will change. Information is constantly going to change. So you may say, well, it was only 1 week. It's a very weak sample size. Yeah, and in the videos coming up, at least with week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, probably not until like mid-season will I feel comfortable enough with a large enough sample size to be able to project a little bit better. But I do think it's a good gauge. I do think it's something you should pay attention to, and I do think it's something that is very good in terms of understanding football better in general, in terms of strengths and weaknesses on teams from a data perspective. So let's start with the big points. One of the big points to start with when it comes to offensive and defensive data is that you have to kind of forget about a lot of the old adages of football. The whole defense wins championships, stop the run. All those types of concepts. While they may have been true a long time ago, while they may have been adages that work in college football maybe as well. But when it comes to the modern NFL, the two biggies is having a good passing offense, extremely above average passing offense, in fact, and stopping the pass. Those are the two big things, and doing things that affect the pass. And let me show you why. So starting with NFL offensive completion data. When I ran the data, and this is all the way back to 1998, and this is the defensive split. So this is the completion percentage on first down compared to every single team since 1998. This is second down completion percentage, third down completion percentage, fourth down, and then goes across the gambit. For the most part, teams that win 50 percentile or higher win, so teams that are 8-8 or higher, winning football teams, typically speaking, do significantly better when it comes to first down percentage, second down percentage, third down percentage, and even fourth down percentage. Typically speaking, those teams do really well, and particularly focusing on 4th and 1 to 4 situations when it comes to fourth down. Because 4th and 4 to 6 and 4th 7 and 9 and 4th and 10, there really isn't much of a correlation there when it comes to those situations. So I'm really not going to focus on that too much during the season. But the things I am going to focus on is what your completion percentage is in these different sort of situations, because they do correlate to winning more football games. The next aspect to the passing game in particular since 1998 is your ability to convert with the pass on first down, second down, third down, and fourth down. And by convert, I mean you get a first down on first down, or you get a first down on second down, or you get a first down on third down. Everybody talks about third down conversion rates. And don't get me wrong, third down conversion rates matter. If you just look at the data, third down conversion rates are very important. But What I think gets lost in the sauce is your ability to convert on every single down better than your opponents is a big factor when it comes to winning football games. And as you can see with the correlations, this is probably one of the stronger correlations to becoming a high-end winning team, like a 90-plus percentile overall winning football team. You need to perform well on first down, second down, third down, and fourth down to a lesser extent. But for the most part, those are the big things I'm going to be focusing on, is specifically how teams perform when it comes to first down conversions on first down, second down, third down, and fourth down when it comes to the pass. When it comes to the run, now this is the run data, the run offensive split data. It's a little bit all over the place, I'm not going to lie. The biggest sort of standout here is second down conversion rate. Second down conversion rate. First down, there's a correlation. Third down, there's kind of a correlation. Second down, there's a bigger sort of emphasis when it comes to winning when you're able to convert on second down versus first down and third down with the run specifically. So if you get it by rushing. But as you can clearly see, there's a substantial difference between your ability to convert with the run versus your ability to convert with the pass. That is why I will always, for the most part, emphasize the pass in terms of your ability to convert on the pass. I ain't got nothing against running quarterbacks. I got nothing against running backs. But most teams that win more football games do it through the pass than the run from a statistical basis. And that is why running backs are being devalued, especially running backs that aren't dual threats, running backs that really can only do one thing but not do everything well. Those are the types of backs that kind of go by the wayside. The Le'Veon Bells, Ezekiel Elliott's, the guys that can actually catch the football out of the backfield, be used in the intermediate to deep game, those backs are especially valuable nowadays in the NFL. And it could even be argued that certain running backs that are only good with the pass, like maybe not Darren Sproles, but backs that are mostly just pass catching backs, can actually be of equal value to a back that gets 100, 200 carries on the run. So basically a back who catches the football, or basically a back that gets targeted like 100 times a game versus a back who gets 200 touches. It can be argued, statistically speaking, that the back that gets 100 targets as a pass catching back is almost of equal value to that running back that gets 200 yards on the ground. From a statistical basis. So having a great running game is good, but it's not going to correlate to winning as much as you may think it will, especially nowadays in the modern NFL. Then, of course, we get to passing defense. So this is the defensive side of things. When it comes to defensive split data, stopping the pass correlates fairly well when it comes to winning football games as a defense. So your ability to stop the pass on first down, second down, third down, and fourth down matters to winning football games. And if you're not very good at stopping the pass on first down, second down, third down, fourth down, then you're probably not winning a lot of football games. So basically, which makes sense, because if being really good with the pass from a passing perspective equals more wins, and stopping the pass, or being better at stopping the pass at least, is going to help you to win more wins as well. And that's basically what the defensive split data shows up as well. And then when you get to rushing data, this is where things get a little crazy. A lot of people say, oh, we have to stop the run, While having a good run defense is good, if you have a good running defense, especially when it comes to first and second down. So if you can stop the run above average on first down, above average on second down, you will win a couple more games than everybody else, but it doesn't have the same effect as stopping the pass does. And you can just look at these charts and go back and look, but from a statistical basis, stopping the run does not matter as much as stopping the pass. And honestly, if you're really good at stopping the run, if you could be a team that stops the run at a 90 percentile level and you'll still might end up being a bottom half team overall, with other variables, of course, like if your offense is bad and stuff like that. But the bottom line is stopping the run is really not as important, and it's really more important when it comes to first down and second down. Your ability to stop the run on first down and second down, those are the big ones that help to correlate to win. And obviously it helps to correlate as well, because if you're stopping the run on first down and second down really well, then you're probably doing a better job of putting your opponent into third and long situations. And third and long situations are a little bit less likely to convert in those situations from a statistical basis. So this is just sort of the methodology when it comes to run defenses. And then we get to sack stuff, because everybody talks about sack, everybody talks about pressures. Pressures do correlate to decreases in QBR, decreases in in basically everything. So completion percentage, everything else like that. Pressures do that. Sacks do that as well. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, the how often you get sacks. So this is basically sack percentage. So how often you get a sack in each of these sort of situations. And it really matters on first down, second down to a lesser extent, and third down to even like there really isn't much of a correlation, with the exception of first down and second down for the most part, when it comes to sacks. And this is less data though. This is from 2007 to 2016. In the off season, I'll work on getting more data to this. But for the most part, sacks do matter to a certain extent, but they don't matter as much as stopping the pass does from a relative defensive standpoint. Nor are they really as important as even run defense, because as you can clearly see, having a good run D overall is a little bit better to winning football games than just having a team that sacks a quarterback a bunch, or more often than other teams from a statistical standpoint. So sacks are really not as important as stopping the run, and pass D especially. Pass D is much more important than getting sacks, and of course pressures overall, which I haven't done a full pressure thing yet, but pressures do also have sort of a correlation when it comes to wins as well, when it comes to QBR and stuff like that. And this is mostly from an anecdotal standpoint, but I'm still working on the data with that. And then you get to interceptions. So this is the instances of your ability to get interceptions in these sort of situations. And when it comes to the data, it correlates very well, in fact. So your ability to get interceptions in crucial situations is important. It does correlate. So I'm going to be focusing, when I do my weekly videos in terms of defensive split data and all that kind of data, I'm going to be focusing on interception percentage. So, the occurrence of interceptions on various downs, whether it's first down, second down, third down, fourth down, because there's been more of a correlation to winning with that than the other thing. So in terms of, basically in terms of average wins. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't want to go too much into it because this video is probably a little bit longer as it is. But that's basically how I kind of how I view that. So with all that stuff out of the way, let's get to just a general macro view of things. So when it comes to overall offensive, so when you take all the offensive split data, combine it and give a score, and you combine all the defensive split data, combine it, give a score, this is what you end up with. And when you combine both those things as well, so O/D is offensive plus defensive split data, and then ranked O is just offensive split data, and then D is just defensive split data. When you look at the data overall, the teams that have, here's the first thing that kind of jumps off the map. When you combine the offensive and the defensive split data together, so when you have a relatively good offense and defense balanced wise, you tend to get into that 90 percentile higher win, 80 percentile higher win, and even 500 teams. 500 teams typically, most 500 teams are at least a 65.27 when it comes to their offensive plus defensive split data, schemes. So it's important to have to perform well in these metrics because you're going to win more football games when you perform at these certain levels. But as you can see between offensive and defensive, offensive is more, it's better in terms of winning than defense. So defense is still important. I mean, as you can clearly see, defense isolated by itself, there is a correlation between winning more football games and having an above average defense, but having an above average offense correlates a little bit better to winning football games in the NFL. You do need to have a relatively good defense. This does not dismiss defense. Defense still matters, particularly pass defense, as I already went over, particularly run defense, at least on first and second down. But when it comes to just from a holistic perspective, offense is a little bit more important than defense. And then the last part I wanted to get to is Super Bowl teams. So this is all the Super Bowl teams since 1998, excuse me. And it goes through what their win score was, what their total D score was, what their total O score was, and then what their total O/D score was, which is the offense plus defensive score measured against all the peers in that time span. If you want to win a Super Bowl, if that is your goal, is to win a Super Bowl, you better perform above average when it comes to your O/D score from a relative standpoint. So that's just my final sort of analysis. And you also should have a relatively good offense, because if you look at, say, the 2006 Colts, for example, they were a team that had a really ridiculous, it's Peyton Manning-led offense, but the defense was not so hot, obviously. And then they were able to turn it on in the playoffs. So there's always going to be variables that affect wins in terms of, once new information comes in and all this other kind of stuff, once a high-impact player comes back, Bob Sanders in particular was a guy on the Colts who kind of had a bunch of injuries and then started to come back a bit in that playoff run. Players matter. Players can impact things enough to kind of push things in the right direction. And on top of that, you have teams like the 2007 Giants and, of course, the Ravens in 2012. But, again, from a statistical standpoint, I don't want to get into outliers, these are teams I'm definitely going to study more to see what variables kind of stick out the most with these teams. But what you should take from this is that if you want to be a Super Bowl winning team, if that is your goal, then you should probably score in the above average range when it comes to your total O/D score. You should probably score above average when it comes to your O score, and you should probably perform above average in terms of your D score. And this forms the foundation of what my weekly videos are going to be, is looking at offensive split data from this kind of perspective. And I probably won't go too in-depth in it because for sake of brevity, but I probably will just go with the straight up first down, second down, third down, fourth down situations, for most of the data, and look at just the total O score, the total D score once the week's out. But this is what I'm going to be doing when it comes to NFL analysis this year. I don't have the time nor the money to, at least right now, to look at film and do film stuff. And even then, what a lot of people don't realize is if you use NFL film on your videos, you get copyright strikes on your video. They could threaten to take down your channel. It's just a whole thing. So I probably will not have NFL videos in terms of analysis and stuff of NFL teams, just because of all the stuff that's involved with that and all the potential risk for the channel. But what I will do is do stuff like this, and this will form the bulk of my videos each week in the NFL, and I hope you enjoy them. Again, I'm going to try to make them a little bit more brief each week to kind of make it to the point as best as I can, because I know some of my videos are kind of long-winded. But this is basically what I'm going to be doing in terms of looking at offensive split data and defensive split data. So if you have any questions, leave a comment below. And of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.